The second-generation Hyundai Palisade arrived in mid-2025 as a three-row SUV with enough technology, style, and features to warrant double its MSRP. But back then, it was missing a crucial element to be one of the best SUVs on the market: a hybrid system. Now, the hybrid is here, and it's unreal how good it is. This is the 2026 Hyundai Palisade Hybrid, the new electrified version of Hyundai's world-beating three-row SUV. And I'm Alanis King. We have already done a full review of the gas Palisade on our channel. So today, I want to talk about why this is my new go-to recommendation in the three-row SUV market. The Hyundai Palisade originally debuted in 2018 alongside its platform twin, the Kia Telluride. Now, this was not Hyundai's first three-row. There were other vehicles like the Santa Fe XL and the Veracruz, but those didn't make the splash that the Palisade did. This was the three-row flagship SUV for Hyundai, and it did really, really well here in America. The Hyundai Palisade and Kia Telluride have taken over the American market since their first generations debuted almost a decade ago. But those first generations were getting old, so new second generation cars have come out. The new Palisade came out in late 2025, and the new Telluride came around in early 2026. And it really makes sense that these vehicles took over the American market because they are that good. Anytime someone asks me what they should buy in this segment, the Palisade and Telluride are on their list, and I go, oh, those are really good choices. Currently, there are two main powertrain options for the Hyundai Palisade. The first is the gas engine that we drove late last year. It is a 3.5-liter V6 engine that makes 287 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque and has a 5,000-pound towing capacity. This is a 2.5-liter turbocharged hybrid powertrain. It makes 329 horsepower, 339 pound-feet of torque, and has a 4,000-pound towing capacity. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says that on an all-wheel drive hybrid Palisade, you get 528 miles of driving range and 29 miles per gallon combined. That is compared to the all-wheel drive gas powertrain, which gets you 380 miles of range and 20 miles per gallon combined. And the final production point on this Palisade is in Ulsan, South Korea. Before we get too deep, it's important to mention that we filmed and scripted this review prior to a major headline about the Palisade, when a 2-year-old child was killed by the power third-row seats. Hyundai and Kia have since issued a software update for the Palisade and its platform twin, the Telluride. If you own these vehicles, please either do the over-the-air update at home or take your vehicle to the dealership to have the update completed for you. And please be conscious of safety issues power controls can present. We have now made it to our brand new segment, which is Alanis's Tour de Interesting Features. And a lot of the interesting features on this Palisade are on the inside, which makes sense because it's a three-row SUV. It's supposed to be really nice on the inside. We are going to start with the fact that we have a built-in dash cam in this vehicle. And on this dash cam, it will record different driving events, right? So if it senses something might have happened, it will save a recording of what just happened. And you have all of these different recordings that pop up on this screen, which is really great because if something happens in a parking lot or while you're driving or anything like that, you can easily access it. I also have a dash cam button up here to where if something happens and I want to turn on that dash cam, I can click that right there and it will record for like 10 seconds and then it will stop recording. So I can access it right there in the screen, and I can tell it to record when I want it to. Then I can control the second and third row seats, their comfort features, from right here in my screen. So our second row seats have ventilated and warmed seats. So I can turn on the seat heaters, whatever setting I want. I can also turn on the ventilation in the second row, whatever setting I want. And then our third row also has seat heaters, and I can turn those on as well. In addition to that, we have some interesting features down here, like our UVC cleaning feature. So the idea with this is that you basically just pop your phone or whatever you want in the center console, you turn on this UVC thing, and the idea is that it's supposed to sanitize it. Do I know if it's sanitizing it? No, I'm not a scientist. Do I still do it multiple times? Absolutely I do, because I think it's interesting. In addition to that, we have these really big visors, which are nice when it's bright outside because I want to block the sun out. And just overall, this front row area, I have so many different features that I have easy access to, and they're smart features, and they're things that you would use. Our tour de cool features continues to the second row, where you will notice that this Hyundai Palisade is extremely minivan-esque. And I say that as a good thing because I love minivans. There are all kinds of features. I have really adjustable second row seats. You can also adjust the third row seats, which is fantastic. These recline, they have heat, they have ventilation, and then we have our own climate controls up here where we can control our heat and our ventilation and everything like that. Something to note about these climate controls, because they're up high, if you have smaller children or shorter people, they may not be able to reach them as well. But that can also maybe be a good thing because it means they won't get broken or stuff spilled on them. So it's not the worst thing in the world. You have access to chargers everywhere back here. USB-C, USB-C, everything like that. I have a 3-prong US outlet if I want to plug in my laptop. There are so many amenities back here. In addition to that, I have a shade if it's really sunny outside. And if you have little kids in the back seat, or anybody in the back seat, you have a traffic alert right here. So this will actually alert you if something is coming. Say you parked on the side of the road and there's a vehicle coming, this will alert someone before they open the door. Hey, wait a second, there is a car coming, which is super useful and super safe, and there are a lot of safety and comfort features back here. Our final two interesting features come on the outside of this Hyundai Palisade. The first is that I really like the exterior lighting design on this vehicle. It looks to me like little cartoonish gemstone cuts, like, I don't know, you're playing one of those Candy Crush games or whatever where you match gemstones. That's what it looks like to me, and I think it looks nice. The second feature and the final feature on this tour is the paint color. Now this paint color is called Galaxy Maroon, but it is actually just black. You might remember that color from the Ford Model T. And the thing that's so interesting about these new Palisade colors is that they all have colors, like green or maroon or something like that, but they are so desaturated and or so dark that they are just actually a non-color like this. This is black. You can't tell me that this is maroon unless it's under a very specific lighting, and even then, you're trying so hard to convince me. That's black, and I get it. People buy black and gray and white, but man, I wish there were some real colors. Because this paint color is apparently maroon, which is the color of Texas A&M University, I decided to wear the color of my university, the University of Texas. And this jacket from our partner, Homefield Apparel. Homefield has all of the coolest officially licensed apparel from your favorite collegiate schools, professional sports teams, motorsports teams, and even the Indy 500. I absolutely love everything from Homefield. It makes me want stuff from all kinds of different schools and all kinds of different teams because it all looks so good. And if you want to check them out, they're homefieldapparel.com. For the 2026 model year, the gas version of the Hyundai Palisade starts at $39,435 US. The hybrid, which starts at a higher trim, starts at $44,160 US. And generally the idea in America and with this Palisade is that if you have a gas version and a light hybrid version, the gas version is typically going to be about $2,000 cheaper than that hybrid. That is the case with the Palisade when it comes to equivalent trim. So basically any gas version, any trim that you want, if you want the hybrid, add about $2,000 to it and you'll be there. This is the Palisade Hybrid Calligraphy, which makes it the most expensive trim of the Palisade with a starting price of $56,780. The only option on this vehicle is $245 carpeted floor mats. That means after options and fees, the total price on this Palisade Hybrid Calligraphy is $58,625 US. We have now made it to the most accurate part of any car review, which is how many Lannises can fit in this Hyundai Palisade Hybrid's trunk. Now, I have done a Palisade trunk test in the gas Palisade with the third row up, and it was 2 Lannises. So we're gonna use this handy little button back here to put the third row down. And we're gonna see how many Atlantises fit when it's all the way down. Now, while I'm waiting for that seat to go down, I wanna talk about the key on this Palisade. I really like the shape of this key. I like that it's a big, long oval. I don't love that it is just plasticky and it's very thin sounding and thin feeling. I think all automakers could benefit from having heavier, nicer feeling keys, because this is the thing you interact with all the time, and this is what people see when you're putting your keys up when you go out to lunch or you do anything like that. I think it could be so much cooler if automakers made better keys, but unfortunately most of them do not. Now, it's time for me to hide in the back of this Palisade. Ooh, this is gonna be really spacious. So I said 2 Atlantises with that 3rd row up. Holy cow. You can easily sit 3 of me across on top of this 3rd row. So I'm just gonna do ×3, and I'm not gonna include stacking Atlantises because that would get unrealistic. I'm gonna say 6 Atlantises very comfortably could fit back here. It's time to drive the 2026 Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. And to tell you why I love the Palisade so much, I have to tell you first about the value proposition. The average price of a new car in America as of this video is $50,000 US. This is the top trim of the Palisade, and it is a 3-row hybrid, and it's $58,000. And yes, that's more than $50,000. But that is such a good value compared to the rest of the market. Yes, you can say that prices are super high across the market, and they are. But compared to other vehicles, this is really solid. For $58,000, you get this beautiful interior that is full of amenities. You get an exterior that looks really stately. And I just look around inside this vehicle. I look at all of the materials and the upholstery, and this looks like an $80,000 vehicle. It's 58. I look around inside this Palisade and I just love all of the styling and all of the materials and all of the color choices. We have this coffee colored interior, and when I touch all of the leathers, they're super soft. In addition to that, we have this wood grain trim that you find everywhere that feels really raw. It feels like stuff you would see at a modern boutique hotel. And then to just differentiate things and add contrast, we have these darker pieces like you see on the steering wheel. It is so nice in here. Not only that, but we also have dual 12.3-inch panoramic curved displays. And so often when you're in a modern vehicle, you have a big touchscreen display and it is tacked on like a massive iPad. These displays offer you just as much functionality, just as much touchscreen, everything like that, a bunch of space, but they are actually integrated into the styling of the dashboard. And we so often do not see that with modern cars. We do not see displays integrated into the styling, and that's so nice and so refreshing because I'm so sick of seeing things just tacked on. You also get all kinds of features in here. We have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We have all of these heated and cooled seats everywhere. We have chargers all over the place. We also have a super clear rear view camera. Oh, it looks so good. And rear view cameras, you might say, isn't that redundant? Why not just use a mirror? Yeah, a mirror works just fine, but when you use a rear view camera, you actually widen your field of view. And when that camera is good, it can be extremely useful, especially because not only are you widening your field of view like you would on a normal car with a rear view camera, also if you have this vehicle packed full of people, you'll have heads back there and it'll be kind of hard to see out of the back of the car. So you flip on that rear view camera, ooh, and it looks so good. We also have some of the features I showed off earlier, like the UVC sanitation area. Do I know if it works? No. Do I use it? Yeah, it's kind of fun. I really only have one complaint about this Palisade interior because it is so good. And that one complaint is the fact that we have a giant row of capacitive buttons down here. And this doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because if you're less familiar with cars and buttons in cars, capacitive buttons are basically just touch screens that are buttons. right? So instead of having buttons there, you have a touchscreen thing, and it makes it so much harder to navigate because you don't have physical buttons with rims around them that your fingers can feel when you're looking for a certain button. And what I don't understand is that, yeah, if you want to do capacitive buttons and that area serves as different functions at different times, that makes sense because you're working multiple functions into the same area. These capacitive buttons on this Hyundai Palisade, they stay. That is constant real estate. So those buttons are going to be there regardless. To make that capacitive doesn't make any sense because you're not using it for anything else. Just make them real buttons and then people can use them and not have to poke around at a screen and hope that they hit the right thing. Now, the one saving grace of this is that this center console area, the end of it acts as a palm rest. So when you're trying to poke at these capacitive buttons and you can't find what's what, at least you get to rest your hand. My only real driving complaint with the regular gas Palisade was something that I was excited for the hybrid to fix, and it generally has. The regular gas Palisade is very slow. It's 287 horsepower, and you have 3 rows and a giant vehicle. It does not get up to speed super fast. The good thing about a hybrid is not only are we adding power, we're going to 329, but also electricity allows for you to have lower end power and lower end torque, so it makes the vehicle feel faster upon acceleration. It has really fixed all of my issues with driving in the gas Palisade to have this hybrid. But the hybrid presented me a new issue, and that is the fact that our EPA estimated fuel economy in this hybrid is 29 miles per gallon combined and 30 on the highway. I was on the highway on the way out to film this video, and I was getting about 25. I was getting significantly less than I was supposed to be getting. And that's disappointing because when you buy a hybrid, you definitely are buying it at least partially for the fuel economy. And I'm not getting the fuel economy that is advertised. And I was driving like 60 miles an hour. I was driving kind of the optimal speed to be getting decent fuel economy. If I were going faster, it would probably go down, which is disappointing. But overall, you can tell I do not have really any complaints about the Palisade. I have 2. This is such a good vehicle. It is so good for what it is, for the value, for the fact that American buyers are going to buy 3 rows anyway. They don't have to be this good. The fact that the Palisade is this good is a real testament to buyers who have a lot of discretion and buyers who want as many features as possible for the price. And this is such a solid recommendation from me. When people ask me, hey, I want to buy a 3-row SUV, I want this, this, and this, my immediate answer is basically going to be Palisade. I haven't driven the new Telluride, the 2nd generation yet. I probably will soon, and I'm sure it'll be right up there with this vehicle. But I think about this vehicle so much, and I think about how good it is, and honestly, it's just so impressive that in a segment where you could just count on people buying it because this is a popular segment, Hyundai made this into an incredible vehicle. It's really, really good. The 2026 Hyundai Palisade Hybrid is one of the best new cars on the market and one of the best values for the money. That's modern Hyundai's MO, and the automaker is really good at delivering on it. Outside of testing and reviewing them, I usually don't spend my free time thinking about normal commuter cars over and over again. I'm a car enthusiast, so I use that time to think about vehicles like the Mazda Miata, which I drive all the time. But the Hyundai Palisade is a vehicle that I think about a lot because of the fact that for the price, comparatively to other cars on the American market, this is such a value proposition and it is such a good vehicle. And when we think about it, people are going to buy 3-row SUVs regardless because that's what they want. They don't have to be this good. And the fact that the Palisade is, that's a win for everybody.